Each person has chapters within their own lives, and today I would like to go and explain chapters that make up my life. I was born in September 15, 2001, to my mother and to my father, and I was raised in apartments that my father's dad had owned all the way up until 2013. I lived in those apartments, and all I did really was watch cartoons and play with the other children that lived there. Just normal kid stuff. I wasn't allowed outside the fence because it wasn't in a great neighborhood in a great part of Long Beach, but I did what I could. In 2013, my grandfather sold the apartments, and me, my father, my sister, my brother, and my mother moved and bought a house close to the border of Long Beach and Lakewood, North Long Beach, and that's where I lived. I had to transfer from the middle school I was currently attending in downtown West Long Beach by the old apartments to a new middle school. There I was constantly harassed or bullied just because people simply didn't like me. I didn't let it bother me though. I had tons of friends and I had better things to worry about. I graduated at middle school and I went on to the high school that was close by, Milliken High School. Ninth grade and 10th grade were good, but unfortunately, despair and tragedy struck my family. In 11th grade, 2019, my father became ill. Got cancer. All throughout 2019, me, my mother, my sister, and my brother visited my dad in the hospital constantly. He got better. He beat cancer 3 times and finally got a bone marrow transplant and was declared cured. However, things aren't as good as it sound. My father contracted coronavirus in November 2019 and later passed away in December of 2019. The house that we all had we had moved into, the house that we called home, had to be sold. And I was separated from my family for 4 months because I had nowhere to go with my dog. My friend allowed me to stay. I'm grateful for him allowing me to stay. And in March of 2020, we finally moved out here to Las Vegas. We moved in with my grandmother. My grandmother used to live in Long Beach, but around 2015, she had to sell her house and she moved out here. When we moved out here, she allowed us to stay, and that allowed me to work and save up so I can go to college because I wasn't able to attend college in 2020 because I wasn't out of state and it was way too expensive for me to afford. So about 10 months I worked at McDonald's, and recently I just quit and I started employment at AutoZone. Things aren't as bad as for my family now. We finally are getting our life back to normal. We have our own house. I go to school and I work. My sister goes to school. My brother goes to school. My mom has a good job. We have our own place that we can call home. And even though we do miss my father, life goes on. Chapters in one's life aren't all sunshine and rainbows. There's always going to be sadness. Whether you choose to overcome them or not is up to you. I've chose to move on for my father's sake. I know now that those chapters are part of me and they are what make me. And though some chapters aren't happy, they're part of me.